Welcome to the Syndwire turbocharger. The basic principle behind the Syndwire turbocharger is that we're going to gather information one time and we're going to use it again and again, and we're going to get the links that to the properties that we create out of that. So here's what this looks like. We start off with a file. I'm going to open up a file to demonstrate it to you here. Here's a file, and in this file we have what we call process type, and that process type could be a blog post, it could be bookmarking, or it could be a status update. And then we have the name of the Syndwire campaign that we're going to use. In this case, we called this acupuncture set 1, and it was a different set of accounts, attorney lawyer set 1 that we used for another one, etc. Under the description, we put in the article, the content that we're going to use, and we accept spin tax, as does Syndwire. But we overcame a Syndwire limitation. Syndwire has a limitation of 21,800 something characters that can be put into their description. So what we do is we take this spin tax that you've given us, if it's in spin tax format, and we send it through something that unspins it. So it comes out with a version of this, and it's that version that it passes on to Syndwire. Okay. In the next column over, it says images. This is something else we are adding for the future. We're not using it yet, but it's simply a folder where you put the when I imported this, I didn't use the right format. This is a CSV. But we have a column for images that you put the folder name, the folder address, and it goes and it takes images randomly. And like I said, we're not doing that yet. And the last column is one for links. And links is used by the bookmarking. But for the blog posts, we're only going to use these four: the process type, the campaign name, the post title, and the description. And you put in here exactly what you would do in Syndwire. You're choosing the type of promotion you're going to do, in this case blog post, then you're choosing the campaign name, and then you're putting in your title and you're putting in your article. Now, copying and pasting these into a spreadsheet takes the same or maybe even a little bit less time than putting them into Syndwire, because we're not waiting on internet time. However, let's say that for this acupuncture, and for all these are all different niches set 1. I've got about, I think, 60 in this group on this sheet. I can go in and I could do a search and replace and say replace set 1 with set 2. And now it's a whole different set of campaigns that I'm using to do my promotion. Okay, so my mouse act up on me here. Maybe the battery is going on it. Alright, so that brings us to the software, and I'll show you a couple of ancillary functions. Here's the utilities. If I tell this to get profile URLs, it will go into the Syndwire account and it will find the URLs that have been created. So let's just give that a shot. This account belongs to a client of mine. We've only recently put it into action. So right now it's going into all of these links on the left-hand side, and it's getting the relevant data for all of those that the post is complete. Here's the key. You do need to give Syndwire the chance to go and post these before we can scrape them, because we're only looking for those that are completed. Now, as of the making of this recording, we are grabbing the profile links, but eventually we will also be grabbing the individual post links. And if you're doing domain authority stacking, this is going to make that much simpler. Because there are a lot of posts that this is going through, I'm going to pause the video and let it finish doing its thing. In true form, I walked away from this for quite some time, and when I come back, here is my message. It tells me that the URLs are saved in a file, and the file is called posturls.txt. Okay. So, the other tool we have over here is the get campaign names. Now, it's kind of important to get the campaign names right when you're filling out your spreadsheet that you're going to export to a CSV. And if you make some minor mistakes, we can cover for, we test for, we actually slow the process down in doing this, but we know it's going to happen. But it's best if you use the right one. So what you can do is you click on this button, and it's going to go into Syndwire, and it's going to scrape all of your actual campaign names and put them into a file so that you can copy and paste directly from that file. We'll just let this run, and then we'll take a look at those two files. The program is deceptively simple, but there is a lot going on in the background. You'll notice over here there is acupuncture set 1, acupuncture set 2, acupuncture set 3, and this is what I'm talking about when I say I can simply take in my spreadsheet, and everywhere it says set 1, I can tell it to search and replace and make it set 2. Or set 3. And let me see if my results box is hiding behind here. It is. It saved all of it to campaignnames.txt. Click OK. And let's see. I go into the turbocharger folder. I see I have this file called campaign names, and it was just created. And if I open this up, here's my list. So if I have any typos, I can use the same exact as how I created it. Okay. And here's my post URLs with utilities and a list of my URLs. Okay. So let's minimize this and get down to what it actually takes to run this. Now I'm going to go ahead and run this, and I'm going to choose a file. Scroll down here and find the file. Take this one, and then click Run. Even though the text was spun in the spreadsheet, it comes in here as clear, and that gives us an advantage where we can overcome the number of character limitations Syndwire has. We can't put more characters than what they allow, but let's say you're using a super spinner article. A super spinner will typically use 12,000 words to create a 500-word article. And so by extracting it, we're now inserting 500 words instead of trying to post the 12,000 words. And when this moves out of the way, you can see on the bottom where it lists the character limits. So once again, this is a process depending on the size of your sheet. You tell it to run and you walk away from. 21,844 characters is what's allowed. In just a regular article unspun, right there used about 2,500, 3,000 characters. We've even gone to slowing this down a little bit so that it isn't even as obvious to Syndwire. Rather than make you sit here and watch this go through all 60 entries that are in this sheet, I'm going to stop the video. And remember, this is a beta, so we are looking for your feedback. What features would you like to see? What do you think needs to be added to this? What would make it simpler for you? Thanks for watching.